just came like that, decade already. And what is really the truth?
I try to be careful not to use the word hoarding because I do not have facts that points at that.
Your number one station for talk. 99.3. Let's talk.
Dailies today.
Dailies today.
On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
This is 99.3 Nigeria Info, 29 minutes before 8 o'clock. Welcome to Daily Today. My name is Wemimo Adewuni. I'm here with Jimi Disu today.
Morning, everybody. Morning.
All right. You're welcome all to the show. Let's get started immediately. Remember, you can join us live on Facebook and YouTube, where we're streaming live now. Nigeria Info 99.3. We'd love to read from you. We start off with a Vanguard today. Parents groan as school owners charge spurious fees. What is this one? School collects 287,000 naira 903 as application fee, 7.25 million as tuition fee. Like for the whole until they finish school.
No, our backs are against the wall as far as education is concerned, especially in Lagos, but generally nationwide. But Lagos is quite peculiar. If we don't, the government cannot dictate what fees anybody should charge. It's a commercial venture.
Yeah.
But the government must come to the aid of parents. What is happening now is unexplainable. 2 days ago, I was asking a friend of mine whose daughter is changing schools. I think she said something to the tune of about 300,000 for a 4-year-old child.
One child?
One child. 4-year-old child, one child. I mean, this is becoming preposterous. Where have we gotten it wrong? We need to have a very quick summit that all stakeholders, parents, government, and so on and so forth, to find out how we can stem the tide. The public school system has virtually collapsed in the eyes of a lot of people. Well, it depends on which side of the divide you are. Even at the lowest levels now, everybody aspires for his child to go to quote and unquote a private school. And it has now become some kind of racket. I mean, some of these schools at the lower end, you'll be amazed, at what you get, and then the kind of money you are charged and so on and so forth. Tie it in with legitimate, I keep saying legitimate income. It doesn't, a permanent secretary on his legitimate income can't send the child to school in Lagos.
Yeah, to a good school.
It's not possible. It is not possible. On his legitimate income.
My three children just switched schools this term. So I know.
You know.
When your head begins to throb.
Yes.
In the middle of the center of your head.
Yes.
You know that.
And we need to quickly intervene. I'm going to call on the Commissioner for Education, Lagos State, to hurriedly put some kind of summit together. Some kind of summit together that would look at the various issues. What can the government do to help parents in this dispensation that we are in? It's gone completely out of hand. Completely out of hand. And I know Mrs. Adefisayo has the wherewithal. I trust her judgment. I trust her competence. I know she has the wherewithal to do something. And of course, in spite of the various tips we have with our governor, I know that he has a human feelings. He too will get involved. We need to put something together. How are we going to subsidize education? We can't continue to have this little baby of mine. She's 3. Her school fees is 300. I can't understand what. I mean, even if we were going to send that to Oxford or Cambridge, how would that? And what are the income levels?
Yeah.
You need to. Then the question you now ask, what the funniest part of it all, is that how much are the teachers themselves now being paid?
That's what I wanted you to get. So many of these schools tell you that they charge so much because they want to pay their teachers better.
No,
that's
you don't
what they
need.
say.
Look, it's you don't need to look too far to know. You see, what really is that over time we've allowed education become a commercial enterprise. A strictly commercial enterprise. In the days we were growing up, when you had the Adeola, Dutola, Mayflower, and even personal schools like that, it was more of wanting to give back to society than running a commercial enterprise. Today, But then the school owners will also tell you they have this levy, they have that levy, they have this rent to pay, they have that, and so on and so forth. We must have a middle ground in all this. We must have a middle ground.
Sincerely, we can't continue like this. We cannot continue
The answer to this in the past had been to set up, for example, at secondary school level, model colleges.
Now, we do have model colleges.
No, see, now, let's look at that whatever again and see if we can translate it also to the primary school. Yes.
Okay.
If Mrs. Adefisayo, if you can gather with some of the churches, some of the mosques, sit down, lock up, no press, nothing, talk to yourselves face to face, see how you can help them to set up standard schools that will help. Because the truth is, the government doesn't have the wherewithal, and neither do they. I think they have the political sagacity to set up proper, to improve the educational system across the board. Because mostly in an election year, I'm a very practical person. I'm very, very practical. The resources of our government and how it is dispensed is shrouded in mystery. So I'm not going to put my mouth where I don't know.
I think you've just given some people election.
One second. However, we can have a kind of middle road and intervention that we had some time ago in secondary school education, and see if we can extend that theory to primary school. Yes, you wanted to ask me something?
Yeah, I was saying that you've just given some people election topics, campaign promise highlights. That's my fear. No, so they're going to. I think so. I think that they'll then begin to say.
I don't think. Let me be honest with you. Only you'd have to be out of this world to believe what any politician tells you when it comes to campaigning. What do? They give some lecturer like 100,000 naira to write manifestos for them. But I know my friends who do these things now. So forget what let's look at what we can do practically.
Yeah.
But the reason why I'm calling on Mrs. Adefisayo herself is because I've looked at her record. Luckily, she's not your everyday politician commissioner.
In case you're wondering who that is, that's the Commissioner for Education in Lagos State.
She's quite competent in her job, and I'm hoping that it'd be nice to even see if one can bring her here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes,
that would
nice.
be good.
Let's try to think about that.
Okay, let's see this next story, also from the Vanguard today. Arewa leaders summon governors, others over issues affecting North. They called it something around northern affairs or something. So they're looking at the issues that affect the North.
You see, everybody will be wondering, so what is the big deal in this story that we're trying to highlight here? It's simple. Look at the way the North plays politics. You see, the Arewa leaders, a group of eminent Nigerians from the North, under the aegis of have convoked a General Assembly for Saturday over the state of affairs of the region. Has Ohaneze done that? I honestly don't know. I've never heard of it. Does Afenifere even have the wherewithal to do that in the West? No. But we keep backing in public space. We keep backing about northern domination, northern this, northern that, and so on. But you need to see the way these people play politics. They're going to summon the governors and tell them that, look, let's look at the North as one and see how best we can get things done. They're also going to have the meeting behind closed doors, of course. You won't know what's going on. And take some tough political decisions that will go across the two parties. We'll sit down here, we'll keep backing on the pages of the newspaper, and these guys will take you to the cleaners politically when the time comes. Learn a lesson. Politics is not about howling and shouting on the pages of newspaper. Politics is not about positioning yourself. Politics is not a fully commercial enterprise where you go make some noise and you expect an envelope from somebody. Let us have committed leaders. Let us have committed. In the North, I am sure they are aware of what has come. See how beautifully they have moved some of they have been able to move some of their problems down south. For example, look at now we are bogged down with all the Okada riders from there. We have them there. They knew that in the North, if you continue to allow these youths assemble, they could become a security threat. So they banned. Apparently, it appears that they banned the banned Okada in some parts of the North, and then somebody funded their movement to the south. Look at some of the Okada riders. Look at the Okada. Take a picture of that Okada go to Google, find out the cost of the cost of the bicycle, and ask yourself if this rider would have the resources to ride this bicycle. Then you will begin to see. You begin to reason things out. And I don't blame them. Politics is about self-interest. They have no apologies for anybody. If you don't know how to, Ohaneze again was in the papers today. We are going to present you are still saying you are at this point of the game.
Few months to election.
3 months. In fact, we started already. And attacking other people by saying, "Oh, Tinubu shouldn't have come out." That is not how politics is played.
Right.
You need to look at the way, and you see, we make one mistake that we've made since I was born. You judge people's intellect and knowledge by Western education. It is the biggest mistake you could ever make.
Some
I'm
of those
speaking in parables today. I've opened up something.
Let's hear what we get.
You got it. If you don't know it, you don't know it.
Forget about it. Now, there's an 80-man committee set up by Professor Chukwuma Soludo. It's a committee, it's a transition committee, and Ezekwesili, Utomi, the big names are there. Agbakoba, 77 others make. Is it that serious? I think?
Yes. You see, one of the things that has excited me on the one hand, and I hope it doesn't disappoint me, is the emergence of somebody knowledgeable and exposed as Soludo, as the governor of Anambra State. The Anambrans got it right this time. Governorship is not for scallywags. Governorship is not for rich people. Governorship is not for buffoons and complete nuisances. Look at an educated and exposed person. And look at the caliber of people. Patutomi is not even from Anambra State. Patutomi is from Delta State. But look at the people he's going to bring to form a committee to turn his state around. That is what education does. That is what exposure does. Soludo is well exposed. It's a pity the Anambrans have grabbed him before we did. That is the kind of person the Igbos could probably have put forward for president in Nigeria. That is the kind of person you need as a president. Somebody knowledgeable, exposed. Look at it. Look at the team. Like I said, Patutomi, Agbakoba is from Anambra. But quite a number of people there are not even from Anambra State. And they are more than glad.
Yeah.
Had he picked me, I would have gone. Yes. Because look, but you see, my major challenge is this. I hope that local politics will not do him in. Because our people are used to the politics of money trickling down. You understand? All those who helped him with the election now are sitting back and waiting to say that,
their returns.
Yes, it is my son that will be the commissioner for finance, and therefore he'll be giving me 10% every day. I hope that the people of Anambra State will be exposed enough to let this gentleman do the job.
Finally, the buck would finally rest on his table. He would finally decide what to do.
But political pressure is very dangerous. It could be impeached. Political pressure is very, very dangerous. Very, very, and that is why in 2023, when you're going to let's put a complete premium on the governor or the president without thinking of who we should send to the various legislative houses. It is very, very crucial, because all what Soludo is doing now, at some point, the state assembly might want to be carried along, if you get my euphemism, want to be carried along, and that's where the trouble might start. Also, I hope he has a very competent civil service. He will have to downsize the civil service and infuse it with a few people from the private sector, like my good brother did in Lagos here, way back when he was governor. I hope they will allow him to do that.
My only question with this committee is, what does it need 80 people for, really?
Well, it's not a committee that's going to be there forever. These are very busy people. What he just needs is for them to give him a blueprint to work with. That's all there is. They're not going to be commissioners. And I can assure you, a lot of them will not even, a lot of them. Are you going to pay Agbakoba? Are you going to pay Ezekwesili? Are you going to pay even my friend Pat? He's a rich professor. Don't be deceived.
Yeah, but he'll be paid now, not be free now.
But to say, Jimmy don't finish me today. He's a rich professor. Are you going? These people are going to give, they're going to give their all. all of us need to have that spirit in us.
Yeah.
They're not going to take a dime from him,
Uh-huh.
but they will prepare a very good blueprint for him.
I don't know about not taking a dime from him.
They won't take a dime from him. I can trust. Look, I can stand for Agbakoba. I can stand for Tommy.
No,
I can stand for Ezekwesili. I can stand.
That
some
they
of
do
these
the
people,
work for free.
Some of these people, I can tell you, some of these people, if they put some ideas together and they can't be funded, they can go look for the funding. If they see that Soludo is, they're still Nigerians of worth.
Yeah, but
I'm not going to write off everybody.
No, taking money for this job doesn't make them less.
No. What the essence of what I don't want to split hairs on whether they'll take. Of course they won't. The essence of what I'm saying is that they'll be more than glad. How much are you going to pay them? What are you talking about? How much? How much? Even the state government cannot afford to take Agbagoba as their lawyer on a commercial rate. Do you know how much these guys make? Have a case and go put a phone call through to.
So who are his clients? If a state government cannot employ them,
let's go to the
okay.
Like fella would say, you know nothing.
Let me take a few comments off social media before we go on to our next stories. Facebook and YouTube are bubbly. Prince Positive says whatever regulatory bodies regulate activities of schools and real estate developers, those ones too, should quickly come up with school fees and rent templates. You see, rent, that one too.
Yeah, I think
rent is crazy now. That takes into account economic realities of citizens, global standards, inflation, and so on. This will stop the Shylock model that most private schools and landlords operate without bothering about the people. Folorunsho Gbafo says they pay the teachers peanuts, collect outrageous school fees, pamper the students and the parent. Pamper the parent, but after collecting all that money. Olawale Kolade Baba Jimi, the simple solution is to take your ward rather to a school you can afford. Cut your coat according to your clothes. Mrs. Awofisaya works with a school that receives millions as school fees. Who's Mrs. Awofisaya? I don't know. Mazi Kechuku says, yet Arewa cannot meet to discuss how to improve education and security. Arewa isn't a good model to imitate. Okay, and so on. I'm jumping onto YouTube to take a few ones here. FECO says schools now increase school fees every term. Are they importing education with dollar? I don't blame the schools because the government has abandoned the public schools. Olawale, your message. Ibironke, I'm not sure how much of an influence the government can have on what people charge because this is a private business and also it's a matter of choice. Okay,
well, I think that if that's why I said it would be nice, for some kind of roundtable meeting and find ways and means by which I don't think we should just sit back and say it's not possible. We can't continue to have what we have. Look at the income levels. Look at the school fees. A 3-year-old paying 300,000. I mean, hey, come on, give me a break.
But like someone said, there are still schools that charge. I think some schools still charge 10,000 naira per term. But again, you must remember that you can't be living in one part of town, go put your child in another part of town for school because the fees are lower. It doesn't work like that.
I even think that what is actually amazing about the whole thing is that high school fees doesn't guarantee you a good education.
Not at all. Not at all.
I usually give myself I make myself an example. I went to Corona school way back then, and British school and so on and so forth, but I couldn't pass common entrance. My neighbors, some of my friends who went to public schools, they dusted me. I got the best marks in English, and I almost got 0 in arithmetic and so on and so forth. So these things it's not. And that's why I didn't go ahead. The Igbobians are happy now. That's why I didn't go to. By the way, I heard the Igbobians have made the Chief Obasanjo an honorary Igbobian. I wonder how that works out. Are you going to put in his CV now that he went to? There's somebody out there who might want to have an honorary whatever it is, so at least he can put that in his application for one of the jobs that he's applying for.
Do they take honorary?
My friend Badejo Okusanya has to answer for that. I understand it was his
this is the first time I'm hearing that.
Obasanjo an honorary Igbobian. But I know somebody out there, there's a client out there who might need that kind of facility so he can have something to put in his form. But that's a story for another day. But don't let me lose track of.
Please, let's take a few more stories. Our time's almost up.
Okay.
I think this education thing needs to be a full show by itself, and then house rent also needs to be a full show by itself. In fact, one day might not deal with it. Okay, this one though. NDLEA grills socialite Obi Kubana for alleged drug links. I've had a lot of my listeners since morning saying, "I beg, free the guy, Jerry." Say the government is they're just jealous of him.
No. People don't understand. I saw this kind of thing coming. Now, I'm not saying that he's guilty of what he's done, but I knew that any government would go through him with a fine-tooth comb. Let me be honest with you. Also, in an environment where there's so much poverty, you don't do some of the things that Obi Kubana did. People will say it is his own money and he can do what he likes with it. But to be honest with you, some of it was quite obscene and setting a bad example for our younger ones. This new "if only mama could see me now" attitude that we have, showing off cars and whatever.
Mama, I made it.
Yeah, mama, I made it. What is the signal you're sending to the younger people? Rather than do that, why don't you try and empower? And all this idea that I've lifted up youth. What do you mean lift them up?
What kind of lifting up? He claims that he has.
Yes, but what kind of lifting up are you talking about? You see, let me be honest with you. He brought this on himself.
How?
First it was, wait now, come on. First it was the EFCC. Now it's the NDLEA. They're going to go through him with a fine-tooth comb because of the way he has exhibited, what he has. The Yorubas have a proverb that says that when your yam is done, you use your hand to cover it when you're eating it.
Well, why?
He has... Wemimo, let me finish, please. I've lost track of what I was saying now.
What you were saying is that he should have covered up his wealth?
That's not what I was saying, but I've lost track. Let's take another story.
Because, I mean, the idea that in this part of the world, when you have money, I mean, our politicians...
No, what you didn't let me finish, and you stopped me right in my tracks. What I was trying to explain is that this exhibition of wealth, throwing money around, and so on and so forth, one, you're attracting all kinds of things to yourself. Two, you're setting a bad example for the young people. It's your money. You can do what you like with it. But you have to have a global responsibility in the way in which you manage yourself. Dangote doesn't do that. There are loads of other rich people who don't do that. What are we telling the younger people? Is that the focus of life? That's what I was saying. So what I'm trying to say is that the EFCC have gone after him, the NDLEA have gone after him, and other agencies might go after him because everybody will be trying to see what is the source of this money that is being thrown around like this.
Well, that's a good thing, and I like that they're trying to find out what he's doing. I just believe that in life we're all not the same. Some people would learn to be conservative with the money they have. Others cannot be. We can.
All of us.
We can't all be the same.
Anybody who is a full-grown adult must have a sense of responsibility to his environment. When you want to give back to society, it's not just giving back physical things. When we were growing up, a lot of extremely rich people inspired us, giving scholarships and also behaving in a manner that doesn't attract the wrong attitude from wrong people. From young people, sorry.
Let me take some of the comments. Some people have reactions to this Kubana thing. Wemimo Yoruba. What kind of Yoruba do I not hear? What did I say? Okay, so this person is talking about rent and fees and says that it is possible to regulate fees and rent. The rent in Dubai is regulated by the government based on location of the property and other parameters. Landlords cannot just fix rent without resorting to the government standards. That would really be helpful.
But rent is still a commercial venture.
It's
simply a case of demand and supply. We've had rent tribunals in Lagos before, way back in the 70s. So what happens? You pay a landlord 100,000, he gives you receipts for 25. If you can't do that, go look for a house somewhere else.
Huh?
Yes. That's what you will have. It's strictly a case of demand and supply.
Yeah.
An agent will tell you, Oga, there's a house in Aja, it's 3-bedroom. Pay and parking. Okay, it's going for, as government has said. Government said we should pay 2 million per annum, but Emariwa
30%,
and then every time you go to pay to the lawyer, or after that subsequently, You must pay this to the landlord and this. They will always find ways around it.
Because demand is higher.
So, yes, because demand is higher. So don't let's waste our time. Let's look at where the problem really lies. And that is in supply.
But talking about supply, we're taking a final story in a few minutes. I saw this story earlier on. Rolls-Royce says that 2021 was their best year ever. Summary is that because of COVID-19, a lot of rich people realized that they could die, so they started spending the money.
No, it's not just that. I wonder what percentage of this is in Nigeria. But it's the new. You see, we have this new culture of if only Mama could see me now. It's not going to do. Look at most of our traditional rulers now believe they should have a Rolls Royce. What message are you sending to your people? Your people's income levels are going all the way down to the bottom. Yours is rising all the way to the top. But our people themselves, they take all these things. I would have thought, look at what is happening. Look at what is happening in the Western world, and see how the royalty in those countries try to align themselves with the people and the president. But look at what we have here. It's the opposite. The new normal in Nigeria now is if only Mama could see me now culture. You need to show off. And a Rolls Royce itself is not just a car. No matter the kind of money I have, I won't buy a Rolls Royce. I'll probably buy a Ferrari. It suits my style. It suits my person. But okay, if you don't know it, you don't know it. Let me go.
Okay,
I'll be back at 9.
Yeah, I'll just leave you with these stories. You can go check them out. Their opinions. This one says Yemi Oshibajo run. Where is he running to? You can just guess. Another one here: 16-year-olds can now receive COVID-19 jabs. Says NPHCDA. That's good.
So if you're 16, go for your jab.
Yeah.
16 and above, go for your jab.
It used to be 18, but now
it's 16.
It's 16, so you have no excuse. Go register and get your job. That's it. Jimi is back at 9 o'clock with more. After the break, we have for you hot takes. The biggest stories across the week is what we're talking about for the next 1 hour. My name is Wemimo Adewuni. Thanks for being here. Don't go away.
Home of entertaining conversations.
I personally think Liverpool of last season that lost the title were better. That's my personal opinion.
Somebody who has the virus refused to isolate. That's even attempted murder, in my opinion, because you know how dangerous this virus is and you refuse to do the right thing.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. 99.